Thank you so much for joining us today. Can you hear me? Just want to make sure that I can be heard.
I can hear you, Anita. I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Apologies that we're starting a bit late. We need more people to join us, so we'll just get right into it. On behalf of the board, management, and staff of Action Microfinance Bank, I welcome you to the 4th edition of Action SME Hub. My name is Anita Ogoni, and I work with the Marketing Communications Department. Action SME Hub is specially designed for business owners to thrive and not just survive in today's business environment. And today I am very excited to introduce Adenike Adeola, a senior HR consultant with PwC, who will be sharing with us insightful techniques that are sure to help businesses stay ahead. Please, can we have her bio up? Thank you. Like I said earlier, Adenike Adeola is a senior HR professional with over 8 years track record of successfully supporting clients across various industries with implementing their HR initiatives. Adenike has served as team lead responsible for project oversight and engagement delivery for several HR projects, such as change management, business process optimization, staff capability, diagnostics, culture assessment. She has successfully participated in and executed various client engagements in She worked closely during the incubation stage of their business. Some of her professional qualifications are MSc Human Resources Management, University of South Wales, BSc Accounting, Olabisi Onabanjo University, Ogun State, Member Chartered Institute of Personnel Development, CIPD UK, Certified Thomas International Personal Profile Analysis, PPA practitioner, and Certified HR Data Analyst. Before Adenike starts, I'd like to tell you to follow us on social media. We're dropping our social media platforms on our social media handles on the chat box, and we'd also take questions after Adenike's session, and we'd like you to get your questions ready. Thank you so much for joining us today, Adenike. You can have the floor.
Hi, Anita. Thank you for having me. I've tried to actually turn on my video, but I think it has been deactivated by the host.
Okay, I'll fix that now.
Okay, all right, no worries. Just wanted people to put a face to the name. I'll just go ahead to share my screen quickly, and then we just dive right into it. All right, thank you once again for having me. Can you hear me?
Hi, Adenike, we can hear you, please.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to the Action team, Microfinance Bank team, and also thank you to all our fantastic SMEs on the call. Thank you for the opportunity. I'll just quickly walk through, do a walkthrough of what our outline is for today. I mean, Anita has introduced me, so I don't need to, go over the introductions again. So quickly, some of the key things that we're going to be looking at is one, the challenges. I mean, it goes without saying that SMEs in the Nigeria of today experience challenges which can be ascribed to the various factors, right? Secondly, yes, these challenges are there. What are the strategies that we need to adopt to be able to mitigate these challenges? Thirdly, we're going to be looking at some interesting guiding principles as well that will help us, grow our business. And then lastly, I mean, all of these things that we're talking about, from the challenges to the mitigations to the guiding principles, what is also very key is the agility, change management. As a business owner, as SME startups, medium-sized enterprise, you need to be agile. You need to be agile. You need to be able to demonstrate agility, as you transform your business processes, transform your strategies, transform your business model. Change management is very key. And then we wrap up from there. So thank you once again to the Action Microfinance Bank team for having me. And I'll just dive right into the introductions. Now I'm going to be starting off with, you've introduced me, my name is Adenike Adeola. Now, I am not a business owner, but I am a business owner's ... If you can hear me, this session is supposed to be interactive. If you can't hear me, please, I want you to drop a yes in the chat box. Please, I want you to drop a yes in the chat box. Once I have 10 yeses, then I am confident that I have some level of attention in the room. How many do I have now? Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Bridget. Thank you, Toba. Thank you, Opeyemi, Blessing. Tanko, Miriam, Ifai. Thank you. Akikweli Kayode. Thank you. Abraham, Timothy, thank you very much. All right, so I have 10 yeses now, and then I can dive right into my introductions. Now, this introduction is different from the normal introductions, right? One of the key things of staying ahead in business, of ensuring business growth is one key thing. I'm still going to be drilling down into that later. You have to be social media savvy. Technology, yes, I mean, it goes without saying. This challenge here, I mean, it's viral on social media. And I just want to test, our SMEs in the room, if they're familiar with this challenge. And I want you to, respond or drop a message in the chat area. I mean, it is a virtual session and I want it to be interactive. So I am a business owner, but I am a business owner's ... I need 3 responses. And then, I mean, because I've started as a consultant, when we're having interface with clients, one of the first things we do is we want to hear your challenges, right? We want to be able to assess your level of maturity in your business model. So I want to see how social media savvy you are as a startup, as a medium-sized enterprise. I am a business owner, but I am a business owner's what? I'm not seeing any comments in the chat box. Okay, if you know about this challenge, drop me a yes, I know, in the chat area. Business owner's friend, Ifeanyi, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Any other one so that we can move quickly. Business owner's friend. I need just 2 more responses and then we can just move on quickly. I have another one. I am a business owner's family member. Interesting. Partner. Good. Bridget. Spot on. Spot on. Thank you, Timothy. Fantastic. So we have the millennials, we have the Gen Zs, SMEs in the room. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So I've used this approach different from the regular. I'll just use this to just flow into my introduction. I am a business owner's coach. Great. Fantastic. Excelsa, thank you for that. Business owner's partner, family member, business owner's friend, business owner's wife. Yes, how did you know? How did you know that? All right, thank you very much for the interesting responses. So yes, I mean, for everything you've written here, my husband is an entrepreneur and I'm a business owner's advisory manager. I advise businesses on different HR models, HR policies, their HR business models, their strategies across culture, across change management, across their performance management processes, across HR technology, their HR technology implementation. So I'm a businessman, I'm a business owner's advisory manager, and I'm also a business owner's wife, a coach, because sometimes we also serve as a coach to our clients. So fantastic. Thank you, everyone. Please feel free to use the reactions. I mean, it inspires me when I'm having virtual sessions. Please feel free to use the reactions I'm happy to take the responses as I take the questions questions as I carry on. So thank you very much. Thank you to everyone that responded. I have one last one, business owner's husband. Paulinos, thank you. Thank you very much. This is interesting. Yes, I like the energy in the room. I like the energy in the room. Thank you. So this just validates clearly. I have millennials and I have Gen Z SMEs in the room. So thank you. So I'm on track. All right, thank you very much. So we just move on quickly. At the end of the session, what are we going to be gaining at the end of the day? One is to understand proven methods for business successes. So there are a lot of methods that I'm going to be touching on. I'll be touching on some use cases as well. Secondly, what are the insights we're going to be gaining insights on how to mitigate these business challenges and also understanding how to embrace change. I mean, this is my key expertise in terms of change management. I provide advisory, services to clients across ERP change implementations, across organizational change implementations. So quickly, we just dive right in. Just to also give a heads up, like I said, I have Gen Zs and SMEs in the room, so we're going to be doing using a lot of technology as well to ensure that there is interaction, it is interactive. So get your phones ready. I'm going to be, throwing out a poll later, and I'm going to be sharing what our results are. So please, and you're using QR codes, okay? So please ensure that your phone is QR code friendly, yeah? All right, thank you very much. So I'll just move on quickly to what do we have. So there's an interesting news for SMEs, okay? The interesting news is that SMEs contribute to the engine of the growth of an economy. I mean, clearly, there are a lot of evidence, there are a lot of empirical, the good challenges, right? But we also need to look at the positive side of it before we even start talking about, the challenges. This is a paper that was presented by our outgoing country senior partner, Uyi Apata, when he presented the paper on moving from caterpillar to butterfly, growth strategies for SMEs in Nigeria. So the interesting thing about this quote here is that it is local. It is not an information that is global or international. So you can't relate to it. So it is good news that as SMEs, we're important contributors to the employment and economic growth, right? So that's the good news. So to now back it up and to validate what I've just said, now we have data across South Africa, US, UK, and Germany and Nigeria, but we're going to spotlight on Nigeria. So spotlighting on Nigeria, the interesting thing again is that 84% contribution to employment. I always say that, as a young graduate from school, if you get a job, irrespective of, the salary, the structure, just start. Nobody will take that experience from you. And usually what happens, their quick wins are SMEs, before you then start saying, okay, you need to now start, looking out at, international, multinational companies. So looking at Nigeria, looking at the statistics for Nigeria, percentage of businesses, we looked at 96%. In terms of contribution to GDP, 48%. But in terms of yourselves a round of applause. Please use the clap reaction. I need to see like 5 on my screen before I move on to the next screen. Next slide. Reactions, you have your reactions icon. You have your reactions icon somewhere at the bottom of the screen. We have Gen Zs and millennials. So use the clap icon. Zoom has all of those reactions. 2 participants are raising their hand. Actually, you wanted to use the clap icon, right? So look for it, look for it, look for it. Look for it. It's usually somewhere at the bottom. I'm sharing my screen, so I can't see the icons. It's usually at the bottom of the screen. I want to receive like 3 icons. You need to give yourself some credits as SMEs. You need to give yourself some credits. Please use the clap icon. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Ifeanyi, thank you. Uduak, Friday. Uduak actually gave me like 5. Thank you very much. Give yourself some credits despite all the challenges, despite the challenges you're currently facing in your business. The good news is that we're contributing to the economic growth. Now, quickly, challenges. We hear this every day. Like I touched on earlier, I referenced earlier, my husband is an entrepreneur. So I know the complaint I hear every day, daily. So, like I referenced earlier, as a consultant, the first thing we do when we have a brief from a client, we approach the client, but we want to hear from you. I want to hear your pain points. I want to hear your challenges. So it's just like when you go on hospital visitation, the first doctors will ask you questions, then that would then shape the diagnosis, right? So great. So in terms of challenges, get your phones ready. Get your phones ready. I'm going to be displaying the results. We need to hear these challenges. We need to hear the business challenges that you're going through. Now, we're not just going to be collating these challenges. These challenges will, one, validate even the prevalent challenges globally. One. Two, it would also help. Action can also help with helping you address some of these challenges, right? So we really need to hear from you directly for us to be able to then diagnose the right medications. Owasi, thank you. Abraham, thank you. I see your response in the chat box. Thank you very much. So, Menti.com is a live poll. It's a popular live poll. I need to hear from you. What are the challenges you currently encounter as a Nigerian business owner? Go to www.menti.com, put in the code, but if you are more the Gen Z millennial, use the QR code sharply, because this one, before you type it in and all of that, but your QR code already links you immediately to the page. So I'm going to be sharing my screen shortly to show the results. So I'll be doing that shortly. Please just give me a moment while you're trying to navigate. So we want to hear from you the challenges. What are the challenges you're currently experiencing? I can see some dropping already. I'm going to be displaying my screen shortly. Can you see my screen? I need to also give a caveat here. Whatever you see on the screen, do not let it anchor your response. We all have peculiar responses, peculiar challenges that we're currently experiencing. Yeah. Inflation, I can see lack of funds. I can see inflation on items and price fluctuations, lack of electricity, supply funding in terms of loan training. Yeah, that's key as well. I need more. We're about 50 on this call, so I need more. I need more. Access to cheap vendor and quality material used for production. Spot on. That's spot on. I need more. I need more. I need more responses. I need more responses. High cost of product acquisition by customers, affordability. Great. I need more responses. Inflation. This has appeared twice now. I mean, inflation is just it's global. It's not just Nigeria. What I mean is peculiar here as well. It's just the intensity that is high interest rates. Spot on. Can I have more responses? Honesty from employee and finance. I wish I can get more context to that too. Honesty from employee and finance. Okay. I mean, because it's anonymous, really. So I would have told the person to just provide more context in the chat box, but that's fine. The numbers I'm seeing on the screen, interaction has to be high, engagement has to be high. 51 participants on the call. Please, I need more responses. Just 8. 8 is too few. I need more responses. Are we struggling? What are we struggling? Is it the QR code, or you can access menti.com? I mean, the first 8 here, they are my Gen Zs and the millennials, the SMEs, the Gen Zs and the millennials. I'm sure your target audience are also Gen Zs and millennials, right? I need more, I need more, I need more, I need more. This is not sufficient. Government policy, please drop it on the unstable economy environment. I want it to be on the screen. I can see it in the chat area, but I also want, can we send multiple answers? I think we have deactivated that, but you can give it a shot. We deactivated that when we're setting it up, actually. But try, I'm not entirely sure. We have unstable economy environment, inconsistent policy from government and regulators, high cost of transportation, lack of understanding from customers, inconsistent policies. David, please, can we have it? Use it, send in your response through the menti.com. Akipelu, please, I'll appreciate that as well. Because we don't want our participants scrolling through the chat box, right? We want them to see it on the screen. Only if we're having challenge accessing the code or the portal. No, no provision for multiple answers. Apologies for that. I apologize for that, actually. Paulinos, I apologize for that. Dollar rates, okay. That also alludes to the high interest rates. Great, I have more. Bad road, lack of power supply, shortage of workers. Interesting. So once we get one more, then we continue. Code, the code is on the screen, 228-17427, 228-17427. I'll drop it in the chat box now. So thank you to everyone that has sent in their comments via the chat box, via the Menti portal. Thank you. Thank you to everyone that has done that. Udwak, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to drop the code in the chat box, and then after 5 minutes, if there are no additional responses, I'll just carry on. Lack of experience. Spot on as well. So I've just dropped the code in the chat box. Please feel free to, drop this. One more to go. Once I get one more, then I can progress. One more to go, one more to go. Okay, so I think we'll just carry on. We make do with what we have. I mean, interestingly, right, all these responses that we've gotten is also similar to, you know, some of the challenges that we've also that I'm going to be highlighting. I mean, you're experiencing it hands-on, right? And we get this from research, from surveys, unskilled workforce. Fantastic. This is spot on as well. This is spot on. I've actually been looking forward to this. I've been looking forward to the challenges that has to do with people, that has to do with workforce. Thank you for this. Talent scarcity, David, thank you. Also similar to, well, it's slightly different. The talent war is real. I can relate. The talent war is real. Fluctuation in prices, unskilled workforce. Okay, so I think we have adequate responses now. And like I referenced earlier on, it's also similar to some of the challenges that I'm going to be projecting afterwards. And like I said, a lot of surveys that, you know, we've deployed as a firm to get some of this feedback, to get some of these challenges from empirical studies. They've shown historically that these are the prevalent challenges that SMEs experience daily, particularly in this ecosystem that we're in. So thank you to everyone that have sent this in. Like I said, we're not just collating this for the sake of it. It's going to shape some subsequent actions that will take place after this session. Okay, so thank you very much to everyone. I'll just navigate back to my slides. Sorry about that. Hey. So thank you to everyone that sent in their responses. And very quickly, we have it on the screen that yes, we've talked about all of the positive things. Now the challenges are real, right? And it speaks to, and also similar box to put in via the menti.com, lack of access to credit and finance. I mean, most times when I hear, I need facility, I need money, I need to expand my business, I need to do this, I need to do that, you know, huge gaps in infrastructure. Somebody also dropped it in, lack of electricity. If your business model is largely dependent on electricity, then I know in terms of diesel, in terms of petrol, is, you know, quite on the high side. High levels of unskilled workforce. So thank you to that person that dropped it. That person, are you sure you've not seen my slides? Absence of financial management. And what do I mean by this? Proper bookkeeping. SMEs, yes, we are revenue driven. We've just started off. We want to make money, but it's very key to get it right from the beginning. Structure in terms of finance, structure in terms of people, workforce. It is a step, is always a step in the right direction to always do what? Get your finances right from the beginning. Your bookkeeping, you get it right from the beginning. Public sector bureaucracy and corruption, absence of corporate structure, corporate governance. This is very key. Very, very key. Yes, SMEs, you can start building your corporate structure gradually to help you set the strategic directions of your business. And I mean, you can always do a course correct as you progress, as you diverse, as you expand your business. Poor financial disclosures for fear of tax man. I mean, from day one that you start transacting, I mean, there's always the issue of, oh, we're not remitting yet, we're not remitting, disclosure, we're not disclosing what we have yet and all of that. I mean, these are some of the advice and advisory services that we also deliver in PwC from our tax advisory team, in terms of ensuring that businesses are compliant. Economic challenges and uncertainty, I mean, this goes without saying. Inadequate knowledge and skills of owner managers. Yes, as a business owner, you need to continuous learning. I mean, it's part of what I'm going to be talking about. Continuous learning. Leadership development programs, extensive one. You immerse yourself in these programs. I mean, some of the programs that we also, implement for some of our clients. I mean, we're currently doing one for one of the top FMCGs in Nigeria, and we have like 10 streams that we've concluded. It is a very good investment, right? So as business owners, you need to continue to do what? Continuous learning is very key. Wrong timing and non-alignment with client needs. Now, let me provide a bit of context to this. Now, you have your business model, you have your business idea, you've started, everything, but it's not just the right timing. It's not meeting your client's demand at the time. So there's a misalignment. So there's always a huge narrative around that. I'm going to be showing a video later that also provides more context to this. I'll pause now. Before I move on, pause means like 2-3 seconds pause for any questions, any reactions at all. And if you're still with me, please drop yes in the chat box before I move on to the next slide. If I receive like 5 yeses, I move on to the next slide. Thank you. Abraham, thank you. You're with me. Bridget, Ifeanyi, thank you. Mojisola, thank you. And I have Udrak on Friday. Udrak gets the award for the most engaging participant. Thank you, Akinpelu Kayode. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'll just move on to the next slide. So we've talked about all of these challenges. How do we address them? I'm sure that, I mean, if I do an open mic now, everybody will have how to address, come up with different ideas. So, I mean, all of these things I'm going to be saying, they are not new, but this session is just to reinforce and sort of just like a refresher and like an eye-opener again that these challenges actually exist but I need to thrive as a business. The essence of setting up business is what? To make money. That's the overarching goal, yes? So, I mean, the challenges will be there, but we need to always come up with mitigations. Now, there are top 5 essential elements that leads to business success. 5 top, right? I said 5 top. Funding is 1. Team structure, execution is 2. Business idea is 3. Business model is 4. And then timing that I referenced earlier, when there is a misalignment with your client's needs or demand at the time. I'm going to be touching on some use cases that, you know, that actually followed these 5, that actually have followed these 5 essential elements, that they've proven and they have a track record that these 5 essential elements has led to business success outcomes for them. Another interesting exercise that we're going to do now. I'll go back to the slide. Take note of these top 5 essential elements. I know some of you be thinking, oh, technology, yeah, all of that fall under your business model, and we're still going to talk about it. A lot of other things that might be coming to mind in terms of quality, in terms of service quality, all of that, yes. Business idea, business model, the offshoot of these 2 will give you all of those things once you get it right, right? So I want you to take note carefully, these 5 essential elements that has proven to lead to business success outcomes. Now, if you've taken notes of them, I'm going to move to the next slide. So get your browsers ready, your cameras ready for your QR code. I want you to rank these 5 essential elements. So you need to rank them. Which one do you feel? Yes, they are the top 5. That is a given, that is established. Now I need you to rank them. So is funding, you feel funding is number 1 for me. Then my business idea can come after. Once I have my funding, business model, business idea can come after. Or you feel that my business idea, I need to get it right. Okay, so I need to see the ranking. I need to see the ranking, and I want to see, the results. I want to see your thought process. I want to be able to see how you're thinking through these 5 top essential elements that I touched on. So I'm guessing you've started scanning your QR code already. You already have your code in menti.com. I mean, you already have the page opened already, so you just change the code, right? So this should be fast and quick. So I'm going to exit now as well, but I'll take my time. I'm going to slow a bit to move on to the results because I do not want to anchor anybody's thoughts, okay? I do not want to anchor anybody's thoughts. So when you're done, please drop done in the chat box. So that would then inspire me to say, okay, yes, I have enough. How come? How can you pick for funding? How can you pick, you know, business model? How can people be picking this, right? So I have just one done. Mike, Joe, thank you. Udwak, I'm waiting for your response. Kayode. No, don't drop it in the chat box. No, no. Go to the menti because this is ranking, right? So the ranking is just going to show you how many people. It's going to show you how many people. You know, the higher the number of people that chose number 1, number 2. You know, that will then determine the. Can you repeat all that you have said in summary? Okay, David, I'll repeat. So in summary, I need you to rank. Let me go back to the slides. So it's proven that these are the top 5 essential elements that. But out of these 5, in terms of prioritization, which one do you believe should be number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5? So if you go to the poll, it allows you move them around to position them where you think their ranking should be. David Ademola, did I respond to you? Is it clear, Ademola? Let me go and peep into my results, see people have started. All right, thank you. Toba, done. Thank you, Toba. The code. Okay, let me move to the next slide. So the code is 76997667. Done. Thank you, Timothy. Thank you, Kayode Akipelu. Done. Friday. Okay. I'm getting enough responses now. So let me go and peep and see what we have so far. I'm not opening it again. I want more responses in the chat box before I go to review the results. Bridget, thank you, Bridget. Okay, so let me reveal what we have so far. Let me review what we have so far. Adejumoke Babatunde, David, thanks for sending it in. And thanks for voting. I mean, for ranking the top 5 elements. Give me a moment. Okay, I'm seeing interesting ranking here. Should I reveal? Let's review. Review. What do we have? I have just 14 responses. So we're saying business idea is number 1, funding is number 2, business model is number 3. Oh, okay. Business model is going up. It has brought funding down. Okay, let's see this. Let's do this. Business idea is stopping. It's stopping number 1. Business model is ranking number 2. Funding, we have 16 responses so far. Once I get 20 responses, I'll reveal, and then we have a conversation. It's going to be an open mic. So please, Angela, you might need to unmute some people to speak and just share their thoughts. Just 2 people. And then we'll watch an interesting video just to open our eyes to, some of these rankings that we've come up with. Business idea is still topping. I have 16 responses. I have 60 people on the call. 60 people on the call, 16. That's too few for me. Few sample. $17. Awesome. We're getting there. Business idea is still topping. Interesting. This is exciting and interesting. Funding is still on number 3. How come? How is that? Funding. You need money. Ego money. You need money. So funding, number 3. Think three. Team structure. Timing. I have 17. I need 3 more responses so that at least, not a fantastic sample size, but we can run with it. Business idea, business model, funding, team structure, timing. 2 participants have their hands raised up. Kayode, okay. I'm guessing you want to contribute after this, or you have a question now. We have 65 participants, and I have just 17 responses. What's happening? I need to hear from you. I need to be able to make a case that the ranking that these fantastic SMEs are giving to me is the best. Because what I'm going to benchmark in with is it's a ranking from SMEs as well, but the sample size is a far cry from what I have. It's a far cry from what I have. I have 17. Are we struggling with the key? Is it the QR code or is it the portal? 17 responses. That's too few for me to move on. I need just three more. Just three more. Business idea still topping, business model, funding, team structure, timing. $18, thank you. 2 more to go. 2 more to go. Business idea still topping, business model second, funding, team structure, timing. Okay, I have something in the chat box. Okay, not really, Kayode. Okay, but do you have a question? So if you have a question, once I'm done revealing the ranking, then you can please carry on with your question, okay? $18. 18. I'm not inspired. What's happening? 18 out of 65. 18 out of 65. Well, I understand that it's not everyone, but I mean, I'm guessing like 60 or 50 or 55. One is moving. Business idea, 19. Thank you. One more to go. Business idea still topping. Business model 2. Funding. 3. Team structure 4. Ha. I would need 2 people to unmute, but I get 20 responses. So the first person is going to be making a case for this ranking. Why the person feels business idea should be number 1. Business model should be number 2. Funding should be number 3. And I need another person to debunk it, to say, no, business idea, no. I believe it should be business model or funding. 2 people, so please prepare your mind to come up with those fantastic contributions. Mojisala, okay, question and answer. Business idea, funding, team structure, business model, timing. Thank you, Moji. Some people are fully optimizing the features of this Zoom. Like this question and answer now, I wasn't expecting anything there. Moji, Gen Z, millennial, I like it. We like to explore. I'm in between. If it's Gen Z or millennial, I'm just in between. I'm in between. Thank you, Moji. I mean, that's one of the features. One of the traits of Gen Z millennials, we like to just explore, drill down, check everything, you know, so that we fully optimize it. Not like some people, even with their iPhones, they only know how to just take pictures. Yes, fantastic. We have 20 responses. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone that has sent in the responses. If I have more responses, I'll be glad. I would be grateful. But I will make do with 20 so that we can carry on. And because we're also pushed for time. So please use the raise hand icon. I need 2 volunteers. 1 please, I want you to just make a case for this ranking. Make a case for this ranking. I wish I had like a tone in the background, you know, like when you're watching Lions Den, when you're watching what's this Donald Trump's business challenge. I used to forget the name of that. Well, that someone should help me. I can't recall the name. Timothy, over to you. Please unmute to speak. My first participant to speak. Come. I give you a special. It takes a lot of confidence and courage to do that. Please carry on. Please unmute to speak. Good afternoon, Timothy.
Yeah, I'm glad to be part. Now, for me, I think what you are talking about, that Trump thing, is the apprentice. And then the case I want to make is the business idea and then the funding that comes next. Now, I think I attended the seminar too. For us to have a model, we need to first have the business running, because as a startup, sometimes as we move on, the changes comes, and then we have to be changing our systems of running our business. So for me, I think it's supposed to have the idea, then the funding. Once we start running, then I remember when we were starting a one finance company like that, and we had a meeting. And at the meeting, I said, all that we have done is just the paperwork. When we get to the field, things will change. And I think about a year after the meeting, things was not the way we planned. So, and we changed the system. So the model sometimes we need to be changed often and often. We can't compare ourselves to these ready-made companies like First Bank and some other big institutions. They have a model they are following. But for like SMEs, like we have to be changing our model to stay afloat in our changing economy. That's my own view about the review. So once you have that business idea, the funding is there, and you have the good teammates, you can always change your models per time, and then you should be very conversant with trends in the economy. That will determine your timing of what to put per time in terms of your model. Thank you.
Thank you, Timothy. Thank you very much. I think I'll just hand over to you to just take over from here. Thank you, Timothy. Well done. I mean, with this ranking, right, we can argue this ranking from now till tomorrow. I'm going to show you a video afterwards. And I mean, one key thing that has always resonated with me, and I've also picked from several sessions that I've had, is this ranking largely depends on sometimes the maturity of the business, right? You know, priorities are different at different maturity levels. But I mean, like I said, this ranking can be argued. I always like this part of the session. It can be argued over and over again. But I mean, nobody is wrong, nobody is right. Sometimes when you have data to back it up, fantastic. It helps you make a case for whatever ranking you're putting forward. Do I have another person that has a contrary opinion to this ranking? That you feel, no, team structure should be number one. It can't be business idea. Anyone? Two participants have their hands raised. I'm sharing my screen, so I can't. Okay, just give me a moment. I have Ifeanyi. Ifeanyi, please unmute to speak.
Hi.
Hi, Ifeanyi.
Hello.
I can hear you loud and clear.
How are you doing? I'm actually enjoying this conversation.
Ooh, I'm struggling to hear you.
Yeah, I said I'm enjoying the conversation.
Interesting. Good,
Okay.
good to hear that.
Okay, so for me, I like to argue the fact that I think business idea is not first. I feel timing should come first.
What should come first?
Timing.
Okay.
Okay, so the reason why I'm saying timing should come first, because it's based on the timing.
I don't know if it's just from my end. I'm really grappling to hear you. Please, can you recap, please?
Okay, can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yes, I can. Yes, loud and clear. I can hear
Okay,
you now.
okay, so what I'm saying is timing should come first because most businesses that succeed, timing is one of the key factors in it. So take for instance, now we are looking at maybe I should use eBay or no. Let me use Konga or Jumia, right? All this online commercials business, right? So this business came at the right time. Reasons being people wanted a place where they can shop online. And if you see the success over the period of times or the years that this business has existed, other business had to come join them, which we now had Jumia, Konga, and the rest. And even struggling online commercial business can't even get to this business that came up first because I know there are other businesses that had come up to top, but they didn't really reach. So timing is a very key factor. So when timing comes into place, then I feel your business idea can now back it up because the idea is just an idea if not executed, right? But if you're looking at your economy, your surrounding, that can actually trigger that business idea because a lady that goes to an area where there's lack of tomato sellers, right? So she goes into that area now. There's so many places, no tomato seller. Now she sees round, she sees what the people need. And at that point in time, immediately she starts that tomatoes business. Everybody starts to patronize her. So that timing, she came at the right time. Then you're not looking at other, okay, now we're having fuel scarcity, right? With a very high price. Now imagine somebody who can give us fuel at a very cheap rate and this fuel can get to everybody. The time in which the person is coming in to provide that service to everybody, you see that that business is going to succeed. You get people patronize it. So I feel timing should come first because I chose timing for mine. So I feel timing should come first, followed by the business idea, then the team and structure which will help execute this will now come in place, followed by your business model. Then funding should come last because I feel funding is not is a key factor, but is not entirely that key factor that helps your business grow. Because if you have 10 or 5 family members, can you just meet them and tell them, I need money for a business? They will tell you, okay, what do you want to do with this money? Nobody will be willing to invest if you don't have something or you don't have that structure or that thing to tell them that you want to use the money for. So for me, I think timing is number one.
Thank you, Ifeanyi. Thank you very much. That was very insightful and also very, I mean, you just played the devil's advocate like different from everything, you know. But Timothy, thank you as well. Thank you very much, everyone. We're going to be watching a short video shortly and just to also show this ranking. But that ranking was based on a sample size of 200 SMEs, okay? And the engagement with them was, of all the business successes that you've recorded, which came about all of this? They now asked them to that, okay. I'm going to reveal to you, you know, what the feedback was. So just give me a moment. I had to stop sharing the screen and then navigate back to my PowerPoint deck. Yeah. Please just give me a minute. Can you see? I have revealed it. Maybe if I even was part of the team that did the survey. I'm going to be showing you the video. I mean, this is the outcome of the interaction that they had with the 200 companies. Timing, interestingly and surprisingly, right? Timing, and if I actually raised a valid point. Timothy, you're also correct. As long as you can make a case for it. I can speak to another 1,000 SMEs now and they would give me this. And like I said, it depends on the maturity level, the maturity stage of the business. So, I mean, for these 200 companies, there are also SMEs growing as well at a fast pace. And I mean, 42% actually ranked timing as number one. Team execution, then your business idea, your business model, if our funding came last. All of this, they're all very important, but it's just the prioritization. You can't, there are some sort of interdependencies. You can't do without one. All of these 5 elements are very critical. They are very pivotal to your business growth. So you can't do without any, but it's just in terms of, prioritization. We're going to watch an interesting video. Okay, so these are just some use cases that I've put together, and just to also validate, this timing conversation. Airbnb was the right timing. Remember 2008, great recession in the US, and people were actually pursuing and hungry for extra income, additional income. And people had a lot of properties that, I mean, living in, the way US houses they're very big and massive. And they feel like, okay, these 2-3 rooms are just there. Why can't I just let it out to somebody that has a short travel stay and can just stay for a few nights and I'll get my money? Uber, I'm even talking about Uber in Nigeria. History even shows that Uber Nigeria started in 2014, but COVID-19 pandemic, Uber here, Uber there, even people that normally you feel will not pick up the Uber just picked up those jobs. So it was the right timing for these businesses. So I'm going to play this video quickly. And after this video, please, I would like you to also share with me in the chat box. I'll prefer 1 or 2 other people to speak, learning points from the video. So quickly, it's just a 6-minute video and we're pushed for time.
I'm really excited to share with you some findings that really surprised me about what makes companies succeed the most, what factors actually matter the most for startup success. I believe that the startup organization is one of the greatest forms to make the world a better place. If you take a group of people
Hi, Adenike, there's no audio.
Can you hear it now?
No.
You hear it now?
and I think that's so true about business as well.
Can you
Yes,
hear it
please.
now?
So much about
Yes, we can. Yes, we
Oh,
can.
let me then I have to go back. Sorry.
Okay.
Apologies.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I think it was when I noted. Oh.
I'm really excited to share with you some findings that really surprised me about what makes companies succeed the most, what factors actually matter the most for startup success. I believe that the startup organization is one of the greatest forms to make the world a better place. If you take a group of people with the right equity incentives and organize them in a startup, you can unlock human potential in a way never before possible. You get them to achieve unbelievable things. But if the startup organization is so great, why do so many fail? That's what I wanted to find out. I wanted to find out what actually matters most for startup success. And I wanted to try to be systematic about it, avoid some of my instincts and maybe misperceptions I have from so many companies I've seen over the years. I wanted to know this because I've been starting businesses since I was 12 years old, when I sold candy at the bus stop in junior high school, to high school when I made solar energy devices, to college when I made loudspeakers. When I graduated from college, started software companies. And 20 years ago, I started Idealab. And in the last 20 years, we started more than 100 companies, many successes and many big failures. We learned a lot from those failures. So I tried to look across what factors accounted the most for company success and failure. So I looked at these 5. First, the Idealab and how much I worship the aha moment when you first come up with the idea. But then over time, I came to think that maybe the team, the execution, adaptability, that mattered even more than the idea. I never thought I'd be quoting boxer Mike Tyson on the TED stage, but he once said, "Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face." And I think that's so true about business as well. So much about a team's execution is its ability to adapt to getting punched in the face by the customer. The customer is the true reality. And that's why I came to think that the team maybe was the most important thing. Then I started looking at the business model. Does the company have a very clear path generating customer revenues? That started rising to the top in my thinking about maybe what mattered most for success. Then I looked at the funding. Sometimes companies received intense amount of funding. Maybe that's the most important thing. And then of course the timing. Is the idea way too early and the world's not ready for it? Is it early, meaning you're in advance and you have to educate the world? Is it just right, or is it too late and there's already too many competitors? So I tried to look very carefully at these 5 factors across many companies. And I looked across all 100 Idealab companies and 100 non-Idealab companies to try and come up with something scientific about it. So first, on these Idealab companies, the top 5 companies, CitySearch, Cars Direct, GoTo, Net Zero, Tickets.com, those all became billion-dollar successes. And the 5 companies on the bottom, Z.com, Insider Pages, My Life, Desktop Factory, People Inc., we all had high hopes for, but didn't succeed. So I tried to rank across all of those attributes how I felt those companies scored on each of those dimensions. And then for non-Idealab companies, I looked at wild successes like Airbnb and Instagram and Uber and YouTube and LinkedIn, and some failures. Webvan, Cosmo, Pets.com, Flues, and Friendster. The bottom companies had intense funding. They even had business models in some cases, but they didn't succeed. I tried to look at what factors actually counted the most for success and failure across all these companies. And the results really between success and failure. Team and execution came in second, and the idea, the differentiability of the idea, the unique idea, that actually came in third. Now, this isn't absolutely definitive. It's not to say that the idea isn't important, but it very much surprised me that the idea wasn't the most important thing. Sometimes it mattered more when it was actually timed. The last 2, business model and funding, made sense to me, actually. I think business model makes sense to be that low because you could start out without a business model and then add one later if your customers are demanding what you're creating. And funding, I think as well. If you're underfunded at first, but you're gaining traction, especially in today's age, it's very, very easy to get intense funding. So now let me give you some specific examples about each of these. So take a wild success like Airbnb, everybody knows about. Well, that company was famously passed on by many smart investors because people thought, no one's going to rent out a space in their home to a stranger. Of course, people proved that wrong. But one of the reasons it succeeded, aside from a good business model, a good idea, great execution, is the timing. That company came out right during the height of the recession when people really needed extra money. And that maybe helped people overcome their objection to renting out their own home to a stranger. Same thing with Uber. Uber came out, incredible company, incredible business model, great execution too. But the timing was so perfect for their need to get drivers into the system. Drivers were looking for extra money. It was very, very important. Some of our early successes, CitySearch came out when people needed web pages. GoTo.com, which we announced actually at TED in 1998, was when companies were looking for cost-effective ways to get traffic. We thought the idea was so great, but actually the timing was probably maybe more important. And then some of our failures. We started a company called Z.com. It was an online entertainment company. We were so excited about it. We raised enough money. We had a great business model. We even signed incredibly great Hollywood talent to join the company. But broadband penetration was too low in 1999, 2000. It was too hard to watch video content online. You had to put codecs in your browser and do all this stuff. And the company eventually went out of business in 2003. Just 2 years later, when the codec problem was solved by Adobe Flash, and when broadband penetration crossed 50% in America, YouTube was perfectly timed. Great idea, but unbelievable timing. And in fact, YouTube didn't even have a business model when it first started. It wasn't even certain that that would work out, but that was beautifully, beautifully timed. So what I would say in summary is execution definitely matters a lot. The idea matters a lot, but timing might matter even more. And the best way to really assess timing is to really look whether consumers are really ready for what you have to offer them, and to be really, really honest about it, not be in denial about any results that you see. Because if you have something you love, you want to push it forward, but you have to be very, very honest about that factor on timing. As I said earlier, I think startups can change the world to make the world a better place. I hope some of these insights can maybe help you have a slightly higher success ratio and thus make something great come to the world that wouldn't have happened otherwise. Thank you very much, my great audience.
Okay. 1 or 2 comments, feedback on the video. We can have just 1 comment or 2. I have. So we can download. Yeah, sure. You can have the video, Timothy. Okay. So do we have anyone that wants to speak, please? Anyone? Okay, so I'll just move on, but please feel free to use the raise hand icon. It is wonderful that timing is now rated tops. Paulinos, okay, that's noted. Okay, please feel free to use the raise hand icon to contribute. Okay, so quickly, let's move. So what are the other key business imperatives necessary for business growth? I mean, I have a number of them listed here, and I know that these factors are also not new to you in terms of technology, embracing technology to streamline your processes. I mean, as SMEs, we're not saying, I mean, procure an ERP. I mean, there are some off-the-shelf solutions that I feel that you can, procure. And if your business model is technology-driven, I mean, are there ways you can embrace technology to ensure that, to optimize your processes? I touched on continuous learning earlier on. And I like the fact that I think it was Timothy that mentioned about staying up to date with industry trends. As a business owner, that is a given. It's a given. You have to be abreast of, the industry trend, the best practices, the new technologies. You need to continue to upskill yourself as a business owner. The next is differentiate your offering. I mean, this is one of the key things that we talk about in terms of having your value proposition. This is also very key. Identify what sets you apart as a business. That is also very important. Building strong relationships. So people will say customer centrism, even winning organizations, if you look at them, largely, most of them still have customer centricity as number one, because they're the ones bringing in, the money. So that's the channel in which the revenue comes into the business. So that is very key. So quickly to the next slide, I have 6, emphasize on quality. Quality is very key. I mean, I know that for most businesses, always referrals, be it service you're providing, be it products you're providing, quality. If you say, oh yeah, I mean, you can procure from this person, you can, seek the service of this person because of the quality of the service that was provided. Digital marketing. I mean, I started off with introducing myself with this new challenge on Instagram, on TikTok. I am not the business owner, but I am the business owners. If your target audience are Gen Zs, you need to be able to be in that space, understand what is happening, all those challenges during people are using all these challenges to actually promote their brand. So these are some of the things that, as SMEs, as startups, medium-sized enterprises, these are some of the things we need to look at. I mean, all of these things are not new, But like I mentioned earlier, this is just to sort of reinforce, some of these things you already know. Adapting to market changes. These are the changes. Changes will always happen. Things are happening. Rapid changes to technology, which impacts on your business model, impacts on your processes, impacts on job roles, impacts even on the behavior and culture of the people that are going to be, adapting or taking ownership or adopting whatever changes, be it technology changes, be it organizational changes, cultural changes. It is very key. You have to be very agile. Foster a positive company culture. This is also very key. You have employees within the system. What kind of culture do they imbibe? What kind of culture or behaviors do they demonstrate? Are these culture or behaviors, do they align with your strategic priorities? These are some of the things that, we also, help clients with in terms of diagnosing their current culture and also ensuring that helping them design, the desired culture to help them achieve their strategic priorities. In terms of monitoring finances, very key and also very important. This is very pivotal to your growth in terms of monitoring your cash flow. We talked about compliance earlier on. That is also very important because you don't want the taxman to be knocking on your office door or running after you to come and make payments. All of these things will help us in ensuring that these are guiding principles to ensure that your business survive, thrive, and expand. Those are the three key words for me. In terms of ensuring that your book, it survives. That's sustainable. That's a very key thing. Your business survives, it thrives, and it expands. And taking a cue from adapting to market changes. A lot of things are changing rapidly. And when I mean things, I mean components we're talking about here. It could be, I mentioned technology. Technology is the prevalent one now that once there's any technology, even if it's just a small fraction of your processes, it impacts the knock-on effect on other things in the system. From your processes to your people to the behaviors is very key, which then takes me to change management, which I'm going to use to wrap up. As a business, I keep talking about agility. I keep talking about adapting to market changes. And of all of these things that we're talking about, so let me use, for instance, Paulino's dropped something to say that, he's glad to see that timing is now topping. Some of us might still be set in our ways or anchored with the thought that, no, it's still my business idea, it's still my business model. But that is the trajectory, that is the pathway to ensuring that your business survives in terms of ensuring that you get your timing right. And for you to have that shift, for you to have that mindset shift in change management, the first thing, one key thing is awareness. You need to be aware that, that point of awareness that, timing is now very important for businesses. That's the first step. This is the very high level framework that we deploy to our clients. If you're not aware, if that self-awareness is not achieved, achieving the subsequent positions on the curve is going to be tough. Ultimately, if you're having any changes or if you're adapting to changes, the ultimate goal is what? Taking ownership of the changes. When you are aware, the next step is for you to understand. Okay, so I understand why timing is now very key for me, why it's not business idea. I need to accept it. But if you don't accept it, you still have it anchored that, it has to be my business idea, it has to be my business model, right? So you need to accept it. Then ownership, when you take ownership of it, it trickles down to every single staff or employee that you're working with. So high level, we're talking about adapting to market changes, adapting to technology. It's evolving, it's changing rapidly, changing the business landscape. These 4 key processes, very, very key, even in your personal life. I use it personally, even for my personal life. When I want to transition or have it, I'll be like, Nike, be self-aware first. You are aware that this is the way forward. I need to then understand the why. I need to accept it and then take ownership of it. Now, to now help you achieve all of these things, I have some enablers that we have here. This is just high level leadership as business owners. Your leadership buy-in is very key. So if as the business owner, you have the buy-in to say, okay, yes, timing is very key for us. We need to ensure that works first. That is number one for us. If you don't have the buy-in, it won't trickle down even to, you know, all the other people in the organization. Also take ownership, because engagement even cuts across from your awareness stage to your understanding, to your acceptance, to your ownership. Then the skills, we've talked about continuous learning. What are the skill sets that will be required to ensure that these new shifts, we are upskilled enough, we have the skill to ensure that we achieve the desired outcome. Then in terms of data analytics, I know as business owners, what is very key for us is measurements. We need to be able to also do what? Measure all of these changes that we're talking about. If I'm saying timing is key for me, and I adopt that in maybe 2-3 months, I need to look back. What have I been able to achieve with this business model or with these shifts that I've adopted? So just to wrap up quickly, because we're pushed for timing right now. There are some common myths about small and medium-sized organizations that we always hear, and we always like to debunk these myths. I mean, on the left-hand side these are the myths, but the reality is actually on the right. I'm not going to read through it, but these are the common, when we have conversations with SMEs, these are some of the things that, we hear, and we always try to back it up with the reality. Like saying SMEs are not scalable, they don't have the resources, or we don't need to worry about compliance and regulations. Very, very important for our business growth. Then key highlights. In summary, this is just the highlights of everything that we've talked about. That timing is key to business outcomes, leverage automation tools, software, staying updated with industry trends, identifying what sets you apart, keeping a close eye on your cash flow, expenses, profits, to make informed decision. So before I close, finally, we're still going to take questions and answers. I think I'll take questions and answers first before I ask for the key takeaway. So let me do questions and answers first, because that's the next. But let me do questions and answers for them. Sorry, apology. I'll take a step back and then ask for the key takeaways from this session. Do I have any questions in the chat box, in the chat area?
Hi, everyone. You can drop your questions and answers, and we'll pick them from the chat box, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. Udwak has his hand up. Udwak, please unmute to speak. Udwak, can you hear me? Okay. Do I take silence for no answers, for no questions? Sorry. I mean, if you have any questions, please feel free. You can still channel some of these questions through Anita or Angela. I'm happy to take on some of these questions. You can ask me questions on LinkedIn. You can send me messages. I'm happy to also respond to, some of your questions. Please drop your questions, yes. So while we're waiting for questions, we can also do so that we can also ensure that we finish on time, within the timing. One key takeaway and what you will adopt going forward. Please feel free to drop it in the chat area. You can also unmute to speak. One key takeaway and what you will adopt going forward. The energy in the room is dropping. Energy in the room is dropping. Just give me a thumbs up if you're still with me on this call. Thumbs up, please. 5 thumbs up. Five thumbs up. Yeah, thank you, Paulinos. Thank you. Thank you for staying with me. Timothy. Timothy, give me 6. Thank you. Anita, Elizabeth, thank you, Dwak. Thank you very much. Our social media handles, yes. Action Microfinance Bank, social media handles in the chat box. So one key takeaway. Anyone? Kalawale, thank you for the thumbs up. One key takeaway. Udwak. Thank you, Udwak. Thank you.
Hi, Adenike. I think 2 people dropped their key takeaways in the comments.
Okay,
There's
the
from
comment.
yes,
Okay,
key
timing is
takeaways.
critical. Thank you for that.
There's someone else. Perfect timing is very important for success.
For success. I mean, that can be. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for your timing. We're going to be wrapping up now. We always want to get your feedback. We need to get feedback to improve. Please scan the QR code. Just 3 questions, 4 questions, please. 3, 4 questions. Please just scan the QR code and please drop in it's anonymous. It's just for us to improve on what we have. Thank you, Nelson. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's quite thoughtful and impactful. Thank you, Udwak. Thank you, Nelson. So please let me know if you've completed the form, and I'll just hand over on this note. I would hand over to Anita. So thank you very much. Go ahead to do what? Change the world and do what? From the video. As SMEs, we're going ahead to do what? To change the world and make the world what? A better place. All right, thank you, everyone. I need to pay attention to timing. Oluwatobi, willingness and agility to adjust your business model. Thank you, Toby. All right, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Ania Betts, thank you. A better place. Thank you. Yeah, you got it right. Thank you. All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me. Anita, on this note, I'll hand over to you.
Thank you so much, Adenike. It was very, very engaging and insightful. We're so glad to have you. And I'm sure our participants had a lot to learn from this session. So we'll be rounding up if there are no more questions for Adenike. And please remember to follow us on our social media platforms. We have the handles in the chat box. And we'll also send a video or the videos you requested for after the session today or first thing tomorrow morning. So if there are no more questions, we might need to end here because of time. Thank you so much. And we look forward to having this session again. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, Anita, for
having me. Thank you, Adenike.
Yeah, bye.
ní tòótọ́ ṣé pé tí mo bá ṣí àkáǹtì pẹ̀lú Action wọ́n máa máyé rọrùn fún mi.
Ina son iya karɓar kuɗin Access Bank na yi amfani kai ƙara kasuwa ta.
Chai, Action Bank ń kọ́ra ní ATM card.
No need to stress, I no need the stress. With Action Microfinance Bank, I deal with the best, I no settle for less. Bank where they make your life better. With shaking the money, you fit open account. Save money now to pay your bills.